Okay, we're now recording. You're live in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to the Hancock Park Referral Network. 7:15 in the morning. We're all awake. Congratulations on that. Let's start with being grateful for being awake. Number one, please turn on your video. Number two, list your name and category and your Zoom ID. I think we've all got that. Number three, post your contact info in the chat if you want. Number four, meeting begins at 7:16 and we will end by 8:31 at the latest. Also, this meeting is being recorded for possible publication and advertising and marketing. Next slide.
Hold on. Jeez.
Cynthia, I love your background.
I'm going to be mobile. I'm going to be mobile today. I can't see myself. I don't know how to I'm using my phone today. So thank you, though, whatever it is.
I am too. Are you out of the office?
I'm in my home office, but I'm on puppy duty this morning.
Okay. Wow.
So I'll be traveling around with a dog.
All right. Well, let's introduce our guest this morning.
Hello.
Starting with Chris Heidel. Sounds like we've got some interference there. If you're not on the, if you're not speaking, please put yourself on mute. And let's start with Chris. We're going to do our guest introduction. We've got at least two guests today. And if we have more, please let me know because I can't really see. I've got also my phone. I'm using my phone. So, Chris, if you could give us a quick name, company, and category, and then we'll have a 30-second commercial later in the meeting. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. This is early for a meeting. I'm Chris Heidel, and I'm a principal and managing member of Heidel Beal and Associates. We're a registered investment advisory firm, financial planners and advisors and portfolio managers in Pasadena, California. So I've known Eric for a long time, and I'm fortunate to be here. So thank you all.
Thanks for coming, Chris. Next, let's have another introduction with Antonio Goodwin.
Good morning again, everyone. Antonio Goodwin, financial advisor with Ameriprise Financial.
Beautiful. Do we have any other guests today? Okay, next slide, Jimmy. Welcome, guys. It's really great to have you. We'll all do a little 30-second commercial a little bit later in the meeting so that we can all get to know each other and see how we can give each other the best referrals. Jimmy, are you with us? Okay. Cynthia, would you mind reading the creed for us today?
Sure. LaTip is a professional organization of men and women dedicated to the highest standards of competence and service. Our purpose is the exchange of business tips. Members will at all times maintain the highest professional integrity. Each business category is represented by one member only, and conflicts of interest are disallowed.
Fantastic. Every category is owned by a particular person, and there's no competition among members. What we do every week is refer business to each other without competing with each other. We introduce each other to our friends, families, neighbors. Hold on a sec. Neighbors and business clients.
Okay, I'm getting some feedback here.
Let me leave that. All right. Leisha, are you with us? Could you read the definition of a tip?
Good morning. I am. A definition of a tip. A qualified business tip is a company or person who's interested in a specific service or product and is expecting a call from an HPRN member.
Great. What's HPRN, Leisha?
Hancock Park Referral Network.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. All right, let's move to the next slide. All right, we're going to go over this slide a little bit later, Jimmy. That's the committee reports. So let's go back to that one a little bit later. And instead, if you could please pull up on your screen the LaTip Wired website with the tips.
Okay, give me a
So-
minute. Tech issues over here. Hold on.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to explain. So this last month was the first month for us to be officially logging our 4-tip minimum. That is 4 tips per member per month. And we do that individually on the LaTip Wired website. We're going to go to the website now, and we're going to pull that up so we can all see what it is that we're doing.
Okay, so can you see it okay?
Yep.
There you go.
Now, do you have the tips up?
Okay, well, this is you guys, can you guys see me okay now?
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. I just switched. I had my monitor switched around. I was going crazy. Okay, so all right. If this is the if you go into LaTip Wired, right? This is your whatchamacallit screen that pops up. Your profile screen. It says my account right there at the top.
Yep.
Okay. So we've all gone over this. If you want to change your profile, we've talked about how to do that. Everybody's familiar with that. Yada yada yada. But down here under my chapter, pop into my chapter. Eric, you want to go over how to enter a tip, or you want to go over what happened last month?
I think everybody has done it. Everybody's done that. So if you notice here on the right, it says summary, 6 tips passed. That is because it's now October 6th. That is the tips that have been passed so far this month. It looks like John, Eric, and Cynthia. And I can tell you that those 4 tips that John has logged there, he logged them last night, but they were for the month, for September. I will have to work that out so that we can figure out how to, because he needs to log those for September, not for October. But
I know how to do it. I logged some for September. You just, you have a chance to put in the date. You just put September 30th.
Okay, perfect.
But I don't know how to edit.
If you go to
I don't know how to-
tips, right, and you go over here to pass a new tip, and let's say I'm going to pass one to Jim. Right there, you can put the date. So you can actually go back and you can retroactively put what you owed, boom, from September. Everybody see that?
Yep.
So you can just change the date. So you can go backwards. You can actually go retroactive on this, all right?
Now I see where I went wrong last night.
Yeah. I wonder if
Perfect.
you can edit a tip. Let's see here. I'm gonna go to my tips. Right, and here's some tips I sent. And I sent one, let's say I sent one to you, Mr. Chad Bourne. I wonder if I can edit it. No, I guess not. I guess you can. Once it's in here, I guess you can't edit it. But anyway, yeah, when you put it in there, put the date. So if you want to go retroactive, you can. All right, so you want to go back and see how we're doing from last month? If you guys can
Yeah.
see at the bottom, it shows you how we did in August, in September. Inside tips was tips we passed within the group to each other. Outside tips were outside referrals. People referred to the outside. And then I guess someone did an inner chapter tip. This is what we got so far for this month. John in the lead. I think those are retroactive. Now, if you go over here and you click where it says this month, pull down menu, you can do last month, this year, last year, today, and we hop over to last month. And here's our winners for last month.
All right. So you can see there on the right side, you can see the number of tips that were passed for each person. And we can see that within the 4-tip minimum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus John's 4, that's 5 of the members are within the tip minimum. And then we have 3 more down at the bottom that that didn't meet the tip minimum. So we need to work on that, guys. And I'd like to be in touch with the 3 of you that are at the bottom there to discuss how to make sure that doesn't happen again next month. And but I wanted to just give some, have a couple of stories. If somebody can, give me a little tip story, a little success story about passing a tip. Anybody have a success story about passing a tip in the month of September? So I'll give one, you know, and this is actually one from yesterday. I got a call from somebody, and she was a lady who saw one of my marketing pieces. She called me and asked me about some data that was on the piece, which confused her. So I don't stop at just answering the question. What I did was I continued to ask her questions about what she was doing. She was thinking of selling. Okay, great. And she was thinking that she wanted to do it next year. Okay. And she told me, unfortunately, her husband had passed. And the first thing I thought was, you know, she must be looking at selling the house because, you know, she's going to downsize, or she may want to transfer the house to somebody, you know, because she's obviously, you know, I could tell that she was thinking, you know, that she had been in the house for a very long time. And a lot of times when that happens, somebody is, you know, going to be, they've got an estate planning issue. So I asked her if she was thinking of transferring title. She said she was. And I asked her if, you know, she needed to change how she owned the property because her husband had passed. And she said she was thinking of doing that. And so, you know, I asked her, okay, well, it sounds like you may be interested in speaking with a financial planner. I mean, sorry, with an estate planning attorney. And she said, well, you know, I haven't really gotten to that point. And I said, well, I know a really great estate planning attorney who I personally have used. Would you be would you be opposed to me introducing her? And she said, no, that actually would be pretty helpful. I said, okay, her name is Cynthia, and she's going to give you a call. Okay, I didn't tell her, you know, here's Cynthia's contact information. I took her contact information and I said, Cynthia will be giving you a call. And she said, that's great. I said, Cynthia is local to the area and I've used her myself and I really recommend her. She said, that sounds fantastic. Then I got on LaTip Wired and I jumped in and I immediately gave the tip via LaTip Wired to Cynthia. Then I texted Cynthia to let her know that she's going to be getting an email from LaTip Wired with a referral for somebody who is, quote, expecting her call now. You know, not absolutely this second, but she's expecting the call. So Cynthia got back to me by text and said, oh, I see the email. Thank you very much. And then Cynthia followed up with the lady. Okay. That way, Cynthia has the tip. It's been logged properly in the website. And I've done my job referring her so that Cynthia can jump on and talk to her immediately. Does anybody have any question about that process?
Hey, Eric.
Yes.
Hey, so I've got a question. So here's what I've done, also with Cynthia. I've texted her, kind of told her, kind of give her a heads up. And then I've put her on like a joint email because I've talked to the customer and said, hey, this is, you know, this is who I want to have you talk to, is Cynthia. And then what I'll do is I'll introduce them together on a joint email. So me introducing Cynthia and the customer, and then get them together and say, here you go.
Love it.
That work?
That's a beautiful way to do it as well.
Okay.
As long as you remember to also put it into the website, the LaTip Wired website after you've done that. But that's a beautiful, easy way. Just, you know, CC them both on an email and say, this is an introduction email to, you know, such and such. Good luck to you both. You know,
Right.
That's fantastic. Good job. Anybody else? I mentioned, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to point out one thing, just so you guys can all see the screen I popped up, but it shows all the tips in the chapter. And just, we talked about this before about confidentiality and things where you can't disclose what's going on. So, you know, you can still send the tip and, you know, just enter it in here, but you don't have to put any, you know, pertinent information to that person's personal stuff, you know, exactly what it is. Like, for example, the one from Jim and Cynthia here up in the corner, right? Obviously it was a tip. The rest of us don't need to know exactly what it was. We just need to know that a tip was passed. All right, I'm done, Eric.
That's great. Exactly right. There are cases where there's confidentiality. All you do is log the tip. You don't have to give any details. The tip was given by this person to that person. So what you might ask then, why do we give details? the reason why we give details, and this is more pertinent if you are looking at the tip sheets that we would be passing if we were in person, is that the tip sheets get passed around. They don't have to say anything on them, but it is helpful if they say something on them, because the other members are looking at it, they may read it, and they may jar their memory that, oh, okay, you know, such and such gave such and such a tip for, you know, financial planning. That's a good, that reminds me of my grandmother who, you know, just, you know, gave me a whole bunch of money, or gave my cousin a whole bunch of money, and they may need to figure out what to do with it and protect it and invest it. And so it's a way for us to not only be giving details for the person who's receiving the tip, but it's also a way for the other members to go, oh, okay, I see that. That reminds me I can give that same kind of tip. Okay. And that's another reason why we meet every week, is because we can then remind each other, constantly reminding each other that we are here. There are opportunities flying everywhere. And by meeting every week, we are constantly reminding ourselves that we are here, that we're doing this particular job, and that the rest of the team, which is essentially our sales force, is being reminded of what we do. Are there any questions? Okay, I'd like to open it up for anybody who had a problem with tipping this last month, and we can discuss it as a group. Anybody have any problems?
You mean
Yeah.
difficulty giving out tips? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I did.
Great.
I did.
Tell us about it.
Well, I love everyone in the group, and my life is so overwhelming. Here's one reason why. Harry, go fetch it. Anyway, I have a new puppy, but I have a full-time job as an attorney, so I'm trying to service all my clients. And go get it, Perry. Go fetch it. Anyway, I have a special needs son, please keep that confidential, who has Tourette's, and we're doing home study. He was homeschooled already, but I'm so grateful for all of the tips, but honestly, I spend a lot of my day talking to potential clients, which I love, but that means I don't have time to handle my regular clients. And I keep thinking of the people in the group, but for example, realtor, I don't know anyone who's moving right now. Title, I don't know anyone who's in escrow right now. I don't have any clients right now in escrow. And I don't know anyone who needs insurance. I don't know. So finally, I'll share one success story. Eric said, Cynthia, get on it. And I'm like, panicking because I was trying to get it. I had deadlines to meet, and my son is crying and my dog is barking. And so he said, just use Jim Bloomfield. I said, oh my God, Jim. Okay. So I passed a personal tip to Jim because I can use that myself, because I need help managing my life and my son needs help managing his anxiety. But yeah, I'm struggling. I'm just struggling with my life. I'm struggling with how to pass tips. I don't see anybody anymore because I'm stuck at home. I'm holding my signing meetings in my like backyard. Anyway, that's my life, guys. Help.
Well, I heard two things in that. One was that you're getting a lot of tips. And I know that you are, because I know John is giving. I know I've given you quite a few.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
And
Only one has actually come through as a client, but I'm very, very grateful. And I love getting tips. So don't get me wrong. I want tips, but I need to pass more tips. That's what I need help with.
Okay. So you're not having an issue. Getting so many tips that you don't have time to do your regular job. Because if you are, look, all you need to do is teach us as a group, what is it that you're looking for? So, if you want to get more specific, so that we're not giving you tips that you don't necessarily have time to deal with, You know,
You know,
for
I
example, the
do.
lady that I passed to you yesterday, right? She
Right.
may not have been perfect. In the future, you might say, hey, don't send me that type of tip.
No,
Send
I
me
have
this kind of tip.
I have a suggestion actually. Um, if 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 you all could say, I know a great attorney. I do know that she has a minimum charge of $4.99 for it's a discounted rate for a 1-hour consultation. In that way, I could be compensated because I'm spending on average like 2 hours per tip and not getting paid for it. So I think what I should probably do is tell you guys that it would be really helpful to tell, Cynthia, she charges a minimum 1-hour rate of $4.99 if you need more than 15 minutes, because most people do talk for an hour or more. And I thought I could handle it because I've always just taken calls and rendered advice, but I'm spending like all of my day, and it's not just from this group, I'm spending all of my day talking to people on the phone for free. So I'm just being honest, guys.
Yeah. So, that sounds like more of a presentation scenario where you're giving these folks maybe a little bit too much time before you start to charge them. And, that's probably, if you are really interested in honing that skill, I could introduce you to an amazing business coach who I know. And within a couple of sessions, you would be, I can tell you that you would have that scenario wrapped up and taken care of. So, if you want that, I can give you that. And that's what I would recommend is you got to work on that maybe,
I think I'd love to have a session with a business coach. Eric, pass me that tip.
Okay, fantastic.
or whatever. I wish that person was in the chapter so you can, I don't know, get credit. But yeah, I'd love it. Thank you. I'd love it. Yeah, I'm sorry to be so honest. I also feel very informal this morning because I'm here with my puppy, and I'm just telling y'all like it is.
Yeah, well, it's great because I can tell you that everybody's experiencing this. So really, it's good that you've brought it up, because some people don't want to bring it up, but then they learn a lot from the discussion. Does anybody else have anything to say to Cynthia or about the issue?
I've got a couple suggestions, and one is what, and I forget her name. Was it Kim Marie? Who's the one that owns Split Tip?
Yep, Kim
Yeah.
Marie Branch.
He mentioned having that list in front of you of everyone in the chapter, and what they do. So when you're having that conversation, you glance down at the list and go, by the way, could you use an acupuncturist, or could you use, a business banker or something like that? I mean, just to kind of go over the list of these people that you would like to get to meet. And number two, I have kind of same issue. Sometimes I'll spend way too much time, trying to vet people. And in your business, time is money. And I know attorneys that set a timer and say, I'll give you a consultation. The first call is free for 15 minutes, and then I have to charge you. And I suggest setting a timer. Say, hey, you've got 15 minutes. Tell me your story, and I'll see what I can do in 15 minutes. And then after that, we have to determine if this is something we want to move forward with, kind of thing. I don't know if 15 is enough time, but just throwing that suggestion out.
Yeah, I think if I say 20 to 30, most people will respect that. And if I say now it's been 20 minutes, I don't mind spending 30 minutes, but when I'm spending an hour or two, that's hard. It's really hard. And I just realized I'm just a little overwhelmed, and I'm hoping some things are going to happen that are going to help. Oh, my parents are dying, and my spouse's father is dying. So I forgot to add that little piece in. It's really hard, John. I know you can relate to that, but part of it is just overwhelmed. So I think the business coach could help me with that sort of time management skills, maybe.
Yep, absolutely. And thank you for being so honest and candid. That's really great. And being vulnerable is something that we all as human beings connect with. So I know that all of us have probably connected a little bit more with you today, and put you in our memories a little bit more when we're out there looking for clients for you. On the side of giving tips, like Jimmy said, keeping a little list of who is in the group near your phone or near your computer when you're at your desk. And then, because basically this is a muscle that you're building. This is a muscle that I've built over 15 years. I was able to give 8 tips last month. I didn't think about it at all. It just happened in the course of several conversations. I realized that there was a tip there, and I have you guys in my memory bank. And so I'm able to give those tips. And that's a muscle that serves me well in my business because, you know, it's not just you that I'm tipping. It's also, I'm referring my clients to such and such. And I'm about to, you know, refer Cynthia to a business coach and all those things. I'm just referring people. And what happens is that then people remember me and they refer business to me because I've given business to them and so on. And that's the kind of business I want to have, a business where people are referring, I'm introducing, they're introducing to me. Getting a referral is so much more pleasant than a cold type of introduction, a cold call. It starts with trust, and having a trust-based business is so much more fun to have during the day than having a cold call type of business. So we'll continue with this conversation about tipping in the weeks to come. Jimmy, can you go to the next page of the NTS book where it says, talks about the commercial. It's page 11. Jimmy, can you hear me? And Cynthia, if you don't mind, I think because you're there's noise in the background, if you can put yourself on mute for that way our screen, I don't know, maybe because I'm doing this on my cell phone.
I'm actually on mute.
Yes,
I,
you are.
okay.
I unmuted myself just now, but I was on mute. I don't know what that sound's coming from.
Okay, then it's my it's me. It's on my end. Jimmy, are you there? Okay. Do you have the?
Yeah, I have running all 3 different things on 2 different screens, and I get a little lost here. You have to excuse me. So let me see here. Screen. It's not showing up. Okay, what do you guys see there?
Okay, we see the book.
Oh, you see the book. Okay, good, because I wasn't seeing it on my screen. All right, and what page did you want?
11.
11. There you go.
Okay. So this is about the 30-second commercial, okay? And the commercial is really important because it helps the rest of us know what you're looking for, okay? And it also helps you in your business in general. You know, people they have a hard time listening for very long. So when they say, tell me what you do, you've only got them for a second. And so we want to start our commercials with a hook. A hook is where you sort of draw them in. And you can do that in several ways. Number one, you can do that with something humorous. And I'd like all of us to develop our hook this week in order for us next week to give those hooks. If you can give your hook on 30-second commercial today, that'd be even better. But number one is to start with something humorous. People really connect with humor. So an example would be a family law attorney saying, you know, at the beginning of the commercial, I'm looking for clients who have decided on a divorce. Divorce is the opportunity for 4 people to become happy. They laugh, and then you go into, my name is John Smith. I'm your chapter's family law attorney, and so on and so forth, okay? And I'm specifically looking for this type of client. So, you know, the tips that you receive are based on, you know, what you tell us you want, okay? So, you know, you can be very specific. You can say, for example, I'm only looking for high net worth individual divorces because I'm really expensive. you know, and that may be funny, but it's also true. You know, for example, I personally don't sell condos that are under $500,000. They're out there, but I don't have the time to represent something like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm happy to say it, you know. And so, you know, it's about training your team, us, what you're looking for. Okay. That's the humorous one. Number two, the serious one. Example, a life insurance agent might say, I'm looking for clients who don't have any life insurance. Last week, I had to tell a mother with 3 small children that her husband, who recently passed away, had let their policy lapse 2 years ago. Well, all of us can connect with that. And it's a little bit of a story. And now everybody's really listening, right? And then you go into your explanation of what you're looking for. So that's the serious version, just as strong as the humorous version. And number 3, the visual version. This is one for a mortgage lender. Jimmy, would you mind reading that one since you're the mortgage lender?
Oh boy. You guys can hear me? I'm looking for clients who are renting. I don't have a trash can, but imagine with the word rent across rent. Anyone who is renting, this is where your money's going. In the trash.
Exactly. So anybody can connect with that idea. And now we all have a picture of Jimmy holding a trash can with rent written on it. And then, you know, at least in the next 2, 3, 5, 7 days, you're going to, anytime you meet somebody or talking to somebody who's renting, you're going to get that visual in your head. And that's going to remind you of Jimmy. And that's going to give you the prompt to introduce Jimmy. Okay? Are there any questions about those 3 ways to hook people in your commercial?
I just want to know if I should be offended. So when you think about trash, you think about me?
Yes. I know we have no ego,
yeah.
Jimmy. What was that, Antonio?
I say after that whole show, yes, I will forever remember picking up trash, dropping trash, and Jimmy. Epic. That was great.
Thank you, Antonio. All right.
So
in a good way.
So let's all work on our hook, okay? It's the first sentence or 2 or 3 that you use during your commercial, and you know, I'm gonna say my hook in my commercial today, and you know, it helps to have multiple commercials. So you know, when you're writing your commercial, write out 3 or 4 different versions, and then use those different versions over the course of 3 or 4 meetings, so that you're kind of coming at it from different angles and people can be reminded of what you do from different angles. All right. Next, Jimmy, can you go to the very next slide? I believe it's page 12.
Yep. He's on
That's
it.
12. Which one are you looking
Actually,
for?
oh, I apologize. Page 15. Okay. So for people that are having an issue tipping, okay, this is a good start. Okay. This is a good way, you know, a good exercise for you to do. And you all should have the NTS book. And this is page 15. Become a tip farmer. Harvesting tips can be compared to planting a field of corn. A good crop just doesn't emerge magically. It has to be nurtured. A farmer plows, fertilizes, then plants seeds and cultivates the field. In time, the first sprouts emerge and then grow into stalks, producing ears of corn, yielding kernels for food or more seeds. Each of us have tip seeds we can sow. They can grow into leads for us if we plant them with people we know. Prospects for tip giving are everywhere. Plant the LaTip seeds by putting a LaTip brochure and your chapter's roster in everyone's hand. Start developing yourself as a source and watch your business grow. So we haven't done this because we're not meeting, but we all are going to get a business card caddy. And what, one thing that we do is we carry that caddy around, and after we've interviewed a client, we might say at the end, hey, by the way, I network with a large group of people, and is there anybody in this business card caddy that you might want to meet? And then people sit there and they shuffle through, and it's kind of fun. But regardless of that, you want to be nurturing and thinking about, like, how can I become a resource for my clients? So not just that they're going to call me because I sell insurance, but also because now they have an issue in their life and they need, people want to be referred. They don't want to look on Yelp or Angie's List or try to find something on Google. They trust people who are referred to them more, and it gives them a feeling that they can trust. And so the more you build your business as a resource for other people's business, the more they come to you and think of you when they need anything. And what that does is it causes them to be connected to you in an emotional way, and it also causes other people who you're referring to also be connected to you. And it's just about turning yourself into sort of the axle of a wheel where you have all the spokes leading to you. And the more you are the source for everybody, the more business is coming to you in the best possible way, which is that people are referring business to you, which is the best way to get business. Warm leads, people who trust you, people who want to work with you, people who are connected with you. Okay, so in this exercise, Become a Tip Farmer on page 15, go through that list. Who do you know? Immediate family, another family level, associates in business, business associates, and so on, all the way down the list. And you'll see how many people you know and start to build that muscle of recognizing what that there are tips out there that you can pass. There are people out there who you can refer. Not that you're going to necessarily call them and say, hey, do you need to meet an attorney? But building that muscle in your mind of knowing other people and knowing that you can refer them. Are there any questions about being a so-called tip farmer or any issues? Yes.
Do we have a roster, like a one-page roster?
Well, what we have is, Jimmy, if you can go to the LaTip chapter, to our chapter, and Jimmy, we're done with the NTS book, so you can go back to the LaTip Wired website, if you could.
Can you see it there?
Yeah. Now go to my chapter.
Hold on one second.
Chapter.
Roster.
Okay, there you can see our roster.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to offer this to the group. I have a secretary who could type that onto a single page that we could have as a PDF. Can I do that?
She doesn't need to do that. Right here, export to or print the roster.
Oh, you do it right there.
Yeah. All right. So you can also export it to CSV, sorry.
Oh my God, that's great. Thank you.
Go,
now,
guys.
okay, now I can print it, keep it by my desk. I just need a hard copy of something. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
So it's all right there. Super easy peasy. This is what you should print up. You should have sitting in front of you when you're talking to people. Right here. So you need someone who does restoration or damage cleanup? Hey, I got a great insurance person if you need some insurance on your car. Anyway.
Yep, and a good thing to do is to print out, that's one way to do it on the CSV. I like the way that the other came out, the roster that when you said print roster, that's a little bit easier for me to read, and print it out and hang it right in front of your computer, right on the wall there. And there you go, beautiful. See how that looks? Jimmy, if you can do me a favor and just save that and send it to the group on the group email, that would be great. All right.
Jimmy.
Hey, Eric, I'm curious. For tips that we do share with each other, do we ever find out like what happened with them? I heard Cynthia mention that a lot of the tips haven't actually generated anything. Do we actually follow up on those?
No, what happens is that if you know, whether you're in your business or, you know, your daily business, or whether you're in this group and someone gives you a referral, okay? If you want to keep getting referrals from that person, it's always good to circle back and say, hey, Laisha, thank you again for introducing me to John Smith. I spoke with him and we had a great conversation. I'm not sure if he's going to work with me or whatever you want to say, but let that person who referred you know that you got it, you followed up on it, and you're appreciative.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, so that is basic referral etiquette.
Yeah, and you know what? I need to keep a list of the referrals because sometimes I think they drop out because I haven't followed up. Because especially with regard to, I know I'm the real estate attorney, but for estate planning, people don't really want to think about that. So I need to be better about reaching back to those tips and have a running list of the tips that I receive. And then I can't share confidential information, but I think I can say, something to you guys when you send me tips, because I'm so appreciative of all the tips I'm getting. It's crazy. It's good. It's wonderful.
Right. I mean, you know, it's easy just to shoot them an email. Hey, thanks so much for the referral. Look, when you give an introduction, whether it's at LaTip or in your basic business, if you give a referral and then you don't hear anything back from that person, okay, that's a little bit of a notch against that person. It's not like you think of them again in the future necessarily. Okay, so that person has now lost you potentially as a referral source. Okay, so it's basic etiquette just to turn back and say, hey, thanks so much for the referral. I got it. I'm on it. Appreciate it. Okay, that gives the good feeling to the person who gave it, and it gives the, you know, a high likelihood that they'll refer you again. All right, Jimmy, now let's go to the committee reports slide that's on the group slides. While we're doing that, anybody have any questions or comments?
Well, I have a comment. I was listening to Cynthia talk about her challenges and thinking about myself, and I don't know how everybody else is functioning right now. For me, I know most of us here are still essential. It's a really weird time. So even though we're here, I've got an office running in a team, so thank God we're still all here. It is super transactional right now. We're super, super busy, but it's really with people who aren't able to pay their insurance or who are struggling with COVID-related issues. And so it's a challenge for me to get in with conversations around needs outside of their immediate financial needs. So I don't know that this is the right space to talk about it, but I was kind of thinking through that and just trying to think about how I can be more strategic and really have some time to dedicate to referrals. I have to actually think about them outside of the workday to think through referrals for people. So it's just really weird right now.
Yeah, I understand. And, you know, again, like I say, this is not, you know, it's building a muscle. It's like working out. And at the beginning of building that muscle, which is essentially for building your business, you know, it may not come to you as naturally, but you've come to the point where you're in this group. So you obviously want to be in a referral network. And so, you know, we can give you the tools, and you and I, Laisha, can talk on the phone afterwards about it. And
yeah,
it's just about, that. Okay, great. We'll talk. And anybody else who wants to talk about ways that you can just be more intentional in your day. So it's not, again, like I said, for me, I'm not out there at all during my month looking for referrals to give. It's just, it's coming up in conversations and I'm recognizing it and I'm making the introduction. And having a power partner also helps, you know, somebody who is in a business that you're naturally going to refer, because your clients, when they're using you, they're also going to need that service. So bringing a person like that into the group will help. All right, so now we're going to go to the committee reports. And the reason why we're doing that is because we are going to be now building so last month we started with logging our tips. The next thing we need to do is build our board, okay? And there are 8 board seats, and currently there are 8 members. Hold on a second. So everybody who's in the group needs to be on the board, and that doesn't mean anything it doesn't mean like some sort of big job. It just means you're going to be assigned a position, okay? And some of the positions require absolutely no work whatsoever, but because we are a small group, all of us are going to be on the board, okay? And that involves, so there's several issues with that. The two not difficult, but the ones that require work are the vice president and the president. And those 2 positions are covered. So the other positions are in some ways very easy, but but some of them may involve confidentiality. So for example, I know that an attorney or a financial planner might have rules with their company that they can't do, certain functions outside of the company, such as collecting, I don't know, personal information or something like that. So, for those of you who have restrictions in your company, I'd like you to tell me which one of these board positions you would like to give. In other words, if you're not going to tell us which position you're going to take, then we're going to assign it. So if you do have required, or if you have restrictions, then we'd like you to pick what you can do. Otherwise, we'll assign it. So the tip master counts the weekly tips and reports to the group. Very easy. You saw Jimmy pull it up on the website. It's not something you have to collect. It's something we automatically as a group report in. And then all you do is you pull, when you come to the meeting, you're just going to have printed out that document that says the tips for the month. Okay? The membership director interfaces with new members. Okay? And that's something that somebody here will assign. And then I personally will be their assistant. In other words, you're not going to do it alone, and it's not much work, but you probably don't know how to do it, and so I will help you. Then there's the treasurer, who keeps track of income and expenses. Right now, there is no income or expense because we're not meeting in person. But a treasurer, for example, I would think a good treasurer, unless there are restrictions, would be Ken. And all it is you create a spreadsheet, and you say this is the income and this is the expense, and you bring that to the meeting at once a month. The inspector reports on new members and applications. So if a new person wants to join, you might, one thing that you'll do is you'll pull them up on the Better Business Bureau website and print that out and bring it to the board. The secretary keeps board meeting minutes. So when we meet as a board, which is once a month, the secretary will sit there with their computer or with a notepad and take notes, so that when we meet the following month, we remember what we talked about the month before, and we make sure that we continue to fulfill the jobs or the things that we've discussed in the meeting. And then the final one is the sergeant at arms, who is basically taking any complaints from the members on an anonymous level, okay? So let's say that we have somebody who gave a tip, and that tip was not necessarily something. It looks like Cynthia would like to be sergeant at arms. Great. We'll put you there. Somebody gave a tip, and the tip, was not handled well, and somebody is upset. Okay. Well, you don't want to bring that to the whole group, because that, you don't want to bring your dirty laundry out to the whole group. You just want to have a discussion between those two people, or, you just want to notify the board of that, so that they're keeping an eye. And you'll do that with the sergeant at arms. And it's an anonymous conversation. The sergeant at arms will not be allowed to give the names of the people who are involved, but more will focus on the issue at hand. Okay. And another thing that the sergeant at arms will do is handle any kind of rule problems, such as, somebody's given a quote bogus tip. In other words, they gave a tip for somebody who clearly did not need that service, or somebody who, when the member called, that person was not expecting their call and was like, "What? Who are you? I don't know what you're talking about." Click. That would be considered a bogus tip. Maybe that's something that that person might bring up to the sergeant at arms. And in the end, it's up to you to report any issues. If something happens that you don't agree with or don't understand or have some sort of complication with, it's up to you to bring it up so that we can handle it as a board. That's the sergeant at arms. Are there any questions about any of these positions? So as of now, we have a president, a vice president, and we have a sergeant at arms, which is going to be Cynthia. Would anybody, everybody needs to be on the board because we have, 8 positions and 8 members. We're going to be adding a financial planner probably, but until then, we have 8 positions open. We have 3 taken at this time. The other ones that are available are membership director, treasurer, inspector, and secretary, and tip master. Does anybody want to volunteer for any of these positions?
I could take tip master.
Was that Ken?
Tip master.
Okay, Ken, tip master, great. And your job is basically when we meet as a board, you're going to basically print up the tip sheet from the website. Jim wants to be treasurer, okay? And at this time, since no money is being spent and there is no income at this time, that is simply a pretty darn easy job. Cynthia is sergeant. I'm just writing the stuff down. Okay, we have treasurer, member. So then we have membership director, and the membership one is also easy, but I am going to help whoever does that. Membership is great because you get to interface with any guests. And so you're meeting new people all the time and potential, referral sources and potential clients, frankly. Anybody want to volunteer for membership?
Hey, Eric. Sorry,
Yeah.
this is Laisha. I don't know if you and I had talked about it offline, but I'm securities licensed. So my 6 and 63, and the SEC requires me to actually file a form before I can join a board. So we can talk offline, but about one of the opportunities here.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Let's do that. And so what were we talking about? Membership. So we have membership, we have inspector, and we have secretary left. I will assign them if you don't want to volunteer. Is there anybody who wants to volunteer for any of these positions? Going once, going twice.
Hey, Eric.
Yep.
Secretary keeps board meeting minutes. What does that entail?
So when we meet as a board, we're going to go over things like the tips that were passed. And if somebody did not pass enough tips that month, then we're going to send that person a warning letter. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to notate in the notes that, hey, a warning letter needs to be sent out to XYZ person. Okay. We may decide that we want to do a business mixer. Okay. On December 15th. So you're going to notate, okay, a business mixer has been decided upon, and it's set for December 15th. You're just basically recording what is decided during the board meeting. Okay, and then what you do is the next meeting. A month from now of the board, you're going to then read over those minutes to remind everybody what we discussed the last meeting. Okay. And then we approve those minutes and, we put them into action. Okay. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. I could probably do that.
Okay. Okay, so the remaining 2 spots are membership and inspector. I saw a little message from Antonio. I've lost it though on my screen. Did you have something to say, Antonio?
No, I was just putting my contact information in the chat.
Okay, great. So again, the membership and the inspector, those are 2 positions that I'm going to help with. So I'm essentially going to be a team member of yours. And again, those are great positions because they allow you to sort of reach out and meet new people. It's not a position where you're required to go out and find new guests or anything like that. It's basically where you are interfacing with the people who we meet. So for example, Antonio and Chris Heidel today are guests. And so you would reach out to them during the week and say, hey, it was great to meet you. We might have a little form letter for you to send out. Hey, it was great to meet you. Please, what did you think? Here are the basic rules. We're going to meet, you come to the meeting 2 times in a row. After those 2 times, you need to come a 3rd time and we'll vote on you whether we are going to bring you into the group or not. That's the rule. Another rule that you might want to know is that we give 4 tips per month. That might be a deal breaker for you. If not, and you still want to join, great, let me know. Basic, basic, what do you call it? Outreach. Okay, so I'll assign those 2 to remaining members and we'll go from there. So the reason why we're doing this right now is because something is happening this month at LaTip International, which is that they're having board training. Okay, so each position is going to get trained on a Zoom call. The president, the vice president, the tip master, the treasurer, the sergeant, everyone is going to have a class that you're going to be required to attend this month so that you can do your job easily and effectively. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why we're in LaTip as a networking group, because we're able to get this ongoing training to make us as effective as possible. Are there any questions or concerns at this time?
Yeah, I'm concerned we're running out of time. We got about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, so we should do our commercial.
Yep, let's go into the commercials. Now, a few months ago, most of us attended the new tip member training with Kim Marie, and we had a chance to develop our hook. So this would be a great time when you're giving this commercial, if not this week, next week, start your commercial with a hook. Remember, we had the humorous one where the family lawyer said, I love people who are getting divorced because 4 people can get happy. There's the serious one where the life insurance person talked about how their client found out that their husband who passed away had let their insurance lapse. And then there's the visual one where Jimmy held up the trash can and said, this is where you're going. This is where your money's going if you rent, right? So keep those in mind, and let's start with the commercial, starting with Jimmy. Oh, and don't forget, the last thing we need you to do, follow this list. Last thing to do is I want you to remind all of us, what power partner do you want in this group? So we can be out there looking for that person in our daily business.
Did you say me? We're starting with me, Eric?
I meant Jimmy.
Okay.
You want me to go first?
I want Mr. Happy to go first.
Good morning, everybody. Jimmy Green with Finance of America, your friendly mortgage loan officer. And as you know me, I'm the trash man. I'm not talking no trash. I'm talking money, right? Saving money. So as you heard earlier, if they rent, they're dumping trash out. So I help people save their money, invest it, create a future for themselves, refinances, purchases, all that fun stuff. Refer me anyone you know that's got a home or wants a home. And who's my power partner? I could use a CPA. So get us a CPA. Thanks.
Beautiful. Next, let's go with Jim Bloomfield.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jim Bloomfield. I'm an acupuncturist. What we do is we help people with their pain and their illness and recover their function, because you cannot heal if you're under too much stress. So a lot of people have that problem. My company is Larchmont Traditional Medicine. I passed 2 tips this past week, and you can refer me to somebody who you know or who mentions that they're having an issue that they're having trouble with their health. A power partner for me is a physical therapist.
Thank you. Ken.
Good morning, everybody. Banking is my game, and Ken is my name. And if you want private banking experiences, come this way. And I feel like we all know each other by now, so you know what I do. And I will talk soon.
Beautiful. Alon.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Alon Ben David from Presto Emergency Repair. We do water damage and fire, smoke damage restoration and cleanup. We do as well mold remediation. Fortunately, I passed 0 tips this week. I'm going to work on it. I'm getting motivated by Eric. How can you guys refer me? If somebody have an emergency of water floods or fire damage or smoke damage, if you are around the fires, call us. A power partner that can help me will be a plumber, will be insurance adjuster, insurance companies, management companies.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. By the way, we had Zeb. We're working on Zeb to maybe join the group. He's a plumber. Cynthia.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Juno, and I am a puppy owner. So if you know other puppy owners that need legal services in the real estate area, call me. Juno Law Offices, I passed 2 tips last night, and you can refer me. Yeah, I already told you that. My power partner is a property manager. And Eric, you've given me some. Thank you so much. I have to continue following up. I promise to talk to at least one of them this week.
Wonderful. Leisha.
Hi, I'm Laisha Willis here at State Farm on Larchmont, on the corner of Larchmont and Rosewood, and I'm in insurance. I have not passed a tip this week, but I'm working on one for John and potentially for Cynthia as well. And you can send anybody to me who hates insurance. And if they don't love insurance, at least love me. We want to give them one-stop customer service with all the products that they need. The power partner that I'm looking for is anybody who deals in autos.
Wonderful. Great. Auto. That's a great thing to remember. Leisha's looking for auto-related people. All right. John Chadbourne.
Hi, good morning. I'm John Chadbourne. You know, something that you guys probably don't know about me. You know, I've been in the title business 32 years, and I'm a salesman. However, that wasn't the path I was taking. I actually started through customer service and searching. I was going to be a title officer and eventually advisory staff is what I wanted to be. And so somewhere along the way, I ended up in sales. So, you know, title comes with a lot of problems. If you guys are looking for a salesman, I'm probably not the right guy for you. But if you're looking for a technician, if you're looking for somebody that solves problems, I'm probably the right guy. I don't know that you want a salesman when it comes to title insurance. So think of me, again, John Chadbourne, Equity Title. Haven't passed any tips this week. You can refer me to homeowners, buyers, sellers, real estate agents, escrow officers. Power partner for me would be an escrow officer. Thanks, you guys.
Great job. Great job, John. Okay. Antonio Goodwin.
Good morning, Antonio Goodwin, financial advisor with Ameriprise Financial. Although my employer is Ameriprise, I work for you. So if you're trying to put your money aside for your retirement, you're trying to set up your small business planning, you're trying to do estate planning, I am the person for you. That's what I do. I work for you. I'm still a guest here, but I do look forward to passing as many tips as possible.
Okay, beautiful. And a power partner for you?
Power partner for me would probably be either a CPA and also a real estate attorney.
Beautiful.
Estate attorney, excuse me. Estate attorney.
Estate planning attorney. Okay, great. And Chris Heidel.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Chris Heidel. I'm a principal at Heidel Beal and Associates and co-founder. We're a registered investment advisory firm, and many people, especially very successful people, in particular business owners and those who manage their professional practices, can have a sense of overwhelm, and we're here to give them a sense of peace. The best run companies hire the best CFOs. And as a chief financial officer, I do work for you. And we work with people who are already successful, accredited investors, and those who really have big decisions to make financially. But there is one path to your best financial life, and we're here to help guide you to that path and to that destination. I'm Chris Heidel, and I'm a guest. So I guess referring me to anyone who really wants to get a handle on their finances, their planning, and have a real sense of the way forward, I can help. A power partner for me is anyone who is faced with clients who have financial decisions to make, real estate agents, CPAs often, and estate attorneys are great power partners for me. Thank you all.
Great job, Chris. I love that late night FM DJ voice you got there.
Dio.
I feel so warm and fuzzy now.
I want to turn down the lights.
All right, that leaves just me. And have you found yourself during the last 6 months of COVID sort of dreaming of moving out, moving away from the city? We can do all our work online now, maybe living in a little country home, being out in nature on a daily basis. Well, you're not alone. A lot of people are doing that right now. In fact, there are more homes for sale in Hancock Park than in any time since we can remember, since we started watching the market in Hancock Park. There are over 100 homes now for sale, when typically there were 65 to 75. So that's an extra, 50% more homes for sale. And I can tell you by speaking with a lot of the people, they're doing what I just said, which is that they're dreaming of moving out into the country, getting a little home and selling their house here and working remotely. If you know anybody who's been thinking of doing that, please, I would love to have a conversation with them, a consultation of what that entails, how to trade for the home that they have in the city, for the home in the country, and what that means for their life. In the last week, I've passed 3 tips. You can refer me to the folks that are dreaming of moving, and a power partner that I would love to have is a bankruptcy attorney. Thank you very much, Coldwell Banker, Eric Flexner. And that's it for today's commercials. The last thing I want to say, or I want to offer, is does anybody have any announcements or testimonials before we end the meeting? Any announcements or specials that your company is running? Okay. How about any testimonials for a great tip that you received from somebody? I have a testimonial with...
well, I received a great tip from...
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go, Lisa. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I got a great tip from Jim Bloomfield. Thank you so much for allowing me to look at your business insurance, and he actually became a client. So thanks, Jim.
That's funny because I was about to give you a testimonial for your work. So I'm sure you all know Laisha's she really took care of business. It was really easy to work with her. She helped me look at my old policy, which I've had for 15 years, of my business owner's policy. And she helped me understand my coverages. She helped me fill some gaps, and she saved me some money. So if you know anyone with those needs, definitely send them her way. She did a great job for me. Thanks, Laisha. Appreciate it. And she made it easy.
Great job.
And
Any other testimonies?
I also want to just say thank you to Jimmy, Ken, and Eric, who've given me quite a few tips, and really just wanted to say thank you. I know this last month or two has been a little rough on me, but you know, I'm kind of coming back around working, and really just want to say thanks, you guys. I really appreciate it. And Cynthia gave me a tip last night. Thank you.
And I want to give a testimonial to Cynthia, who I referred a couple of different clients to, and she's done fantastic. And, you know, that the fact, you know, she likes to talk to people and work through things and help them out. She's very kind and generous with her time and her information. And she's been wonderful. And Cynthia, I just wish that you can manage your time so you can enjoy all the abundance of these tips we're going to send your way.
Anyone else? Well, I also want to give a testimonial to Cynthia and Laisha. Laisha did a great job talking with my wife Jenna and I on the current homeowners insurance that we have in relation to what her services are. We found out that we're paying way too much, and that she just was really wonderful to just walk through the process. And Laisha, I promise we're going to get back to you. And Cynthia, also, we had her look at our, you know, we're having her look at our trust, because between when we got our trust originally in about 2006, in about 2006, we went ahead and had 4 children, and so we need to incorporate them into our trust. And Cynthia was amazing. After the meeting, she sent us an incredibly long email, beautifully written, outlined, bullet pointed, the things that we needed to get her and the things we needed to consider. And it was just an amazing, you know, service that she provided us and helped us get our stuff together. So thank you both for being such great professionals. Are there any final comments?
Thank you, Eric. You're so kind.
Well, it's easy. Thank you so much, guys. So anybody else have any last things to say? If not, we're going to wrap it up. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'll be contacting you regarding your board position, and also we'll talk if you weren't able to meet your 4-tip minimum. We'll talk about that as well on a personal basis. And other than that, we will see you next week. Have a great week, everybody. Go kick some butt.
Have a great week, everybody.
Have a great week, guys.
Yeah, nice to meet you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Antonio.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. Have a good one.